Good afternoon, fans, and welcome to the LB Gym. Once again, it is Groundhog Day, and everything that was good yesterday we're going to do all over again. It is the Tommies and the UKC Blue Devils in basketball action here this afternoon. Women coming up here right at 2 o'clock, and the men scheduled for a 4 o'clock start. Tommies won them both yesterday. In the women's game, it was STU 61 and UKC 49. STU, 4 more three-pointers made. That's your 12-point differential. Plus 12 on rebounds. They led by 27 at one point. A big fourth quarter for UKC, so maybe a little momentum to build there. Tommies were fairly deep into the bench in that fourth. UKC in those middle quarters, the second and third, only put up 7 in each quarter. Tough when you have 2 single-digit quarters to overcome and win. For UKC, ACAA, 16.6 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 steals. Lauren Ford, 10.7 rebounds. A lot of that coming in the fourth quarter. Tommies led by game-leading scorer Katie Vedito, who had 18 and 5 rebounds. Paige LeBlanc, 9 points and 6 rebounds. Tommies are 2-0 against UKC, winning back in November as well. Looking to make it 3-0 on the season. In terms of the standings, these two are right in the middle of things here at 4 and 5. And this is a very much a potential quarterfinal playoff matchup in the ACAAs. MSVU in front at 11 and 3, Mount Allison 10 and 3, Holland in third at 11 and 4, Stewart 7 and 6, UKC 7 and 7. SJ is 2 and 12, and Crandall 1 and 14. Tommies are 2 and 4 at home. UKC 4 and 3 away. Starters first for the visiting Blue Devils. 7 is Alex Soiko out of Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. 7, Sydney Flora Kirch out of Toronto, Ontario. 12, Aiden McLeod out of Wolfville, Nova Scotia, and Horton High. ACAA out of Ottawa, Ontario. And number 15 is Lauren Ford out of Millwood High School in Sackville, Nova Scotia. Starters for the Tommies, 4 is Kylie Roy out of St. John. 7, Katie Vedito out of Charlottetown and Charlottetown Rural. 9 is Alyssa Jeffrey. 13 is Paige LeBlanc. LeBlanc out of FHS, as is number 21, Charlie Connors. And we're going to have the national anthem now. Be right back with tip-off. Anthem is in. We're just about set to go. The officials for this one: Miss Rashida Atkinson, Mr. Adam Humphrey, and Mr. Matt Whipple. They are the 3 charged with making sure all goes according to Hoyle here for this women's matchup. On the tip, it'll be Vedito and Lauren Ford. They battle for first possession. Ford grabs it off the tip, and I didn't think you could do that, but that's not whistled down. Apparently that might be okay. Thought if you took the tip, you weren't allowed to catch it after, but someone else had to control it. I'm going to ask someone about that later. Going to make a mental note. Knocked away by Jeffrey. Ahead to streaking Vedito. She started with a layup yesterday. Can't get that one to drop. Soiko on the rebound. Ahead for ACAA. ACAA beyond the arc. Rebound to the Tommies. Each team's had a good look. There's Paige LeBlanc. She dropped a couple triples yesterday. It'll be big if the Tommies can get LeBlanc rolling here going into the playoffs. First foul on Soiko as Jeffrey will go to the line. Jeffrey among the league leaders in free throw percentage at 78. 7.5 points a game, 4.2 boards, 2.2 assists for Jeffrey in her fourth year out of the Dairy Town. And congratulations to the Rothsay High women for winning the Dairy Town Classic. It's completed yesterday. Up in off the boards by Sydney Flora Kirch. We're tied at 2. Very early in this one, but I'll say UKC looks a little more focused today. Still a long way to go, of course. They seem to have a different intensity about them. On the rebound is Roy, and Ford will pick up the second foul. Going to send Kylie Roy to the line. Roy, 7.8 points per game, 6.1 boards, 1.4 assists. Better than a 60% free throw shooter is Roy. Sorry, Kylie. Knocked out by the Tommies. 3-2 STU. Benito picks up that shot that was left short by Aiden McLeod. Off for Paige LeBlanc. LeBlanc for Connors beyond the arc. That is front rim. Rebound, Jeffrey. Jeffrey too strong. That rebound controlled by Flora Kurtz. Rebounding was an issue yesterday on the defensive side for the Blue Devils. Tommy's already hitting the offensive glass here for the extra possessions. Down low, Vedito. The cutting Roy against Flora Kurtz. Kylie Roy back to the line again. Third team foul on UKC. This also happened yesterday. UKC picked up a number of early fouls. Tommy's aggressive, and a lot of that on the offensive glass. Another offensive rebound, and this time it's Jeffrey. Connors, jab and go. Connors reverses back for LeBlanc. 6 to shoot for Vedito. Trapped underneath behind the backboard too for Jeffrey. That one gets rimmed. There's Soiko on the rebound off for ACAA. ACAA trapped for Soiko. Back for ACAA. Roy nearly had the steal. Long shot miss. Kirch on the boards with Connors, and it's Connors who rips that one away. Charlie Connors, the team leading scorer for the Tommies. Jeffrey, too strong off the board over to UKC. That pass picked off by Vedito. Vedito ahead for Connors, and Connors scores two. 5-2 here in the early going. Connors, in my view, will definitely get consideration for one of the conference all-star teams this season. Started thinking about that the other day and who the all-stars might be. The first team might quickly fill up. Got a spot on my second team right now as things sit, and I look around the league for Charlie. Of course, a bit to go. For those things solidify. There's Vedito who makes beyond the arc. Katie Vedito was the other Tommy I thought about for all-star consideration in my this fun exercise I did the other day. Actually, I thought about all the Tommies, but the other one I kind of shortlisted. You start looking around the league at all the teams and start picking a couple players out. Quickly realize those 10 spots fill up really very, very quick. And you're leaving some very good players off your list. So don't envy those who have to make the all-star selections by any means. (8-2) STU, UKC. Looking for a bucket here from Ford. Back for a keg. A keg beyond the arc. That's into the hands of Claudia Steves, who's checked in for the Tommies, along with Brianna Bartley, who's wearing number 5. There's Vedito again. 11-2. Need a little something here if you're UKC. For this one starts to get away from you again. They look better, they're just not getting the points up on the board. There's Ford. Nice move there from Lauren Ford. I think that's a look you'll be okay with from Ford. Ford with a knockaway on Bartley. Ford in the open court. Gets the shot up. Roy wanted to travel with that ball on Ford's hip. And it's Roy all the other way to the score, 2 points. Timeout UKC. 13-2 here in the early going. Gonna flip over to the cell phone here for a moment. And fire up the cell phone, the ACAA site, so I can give you stats here between quarters or whenever time allows. A couple other games going on as well. I'll see if there's any scores online for those. Mount A at Holland is of particular interest in the standings. MSVU and Crandall as well. ACAA.ca, you can get the same information that I do. Sports, women's, basketball, and then in the sub-menu you're looking for schedule and results. And then you're going to have to scroll down for a fair bit before you find the scores. Right now, Holland up by 5 on Mount Allison. And MSVU won by 30 over Crandall. That's a final already noted there. They must have started earlier than I thought, but that was a 1 o'clock start. Tommy score again to make it 15-2. Long shot, missed. Rebound for Flora Kirch. Back outside for Lily Van Beek, who's checked in out off of Van Beek. Checking back in Aiden McLeod. This is for Riley McDonald. We'll say from the Ken Gould that was here earlier in the year, Lily Van Beek, looks like that Van Beek has gotten a lot more comfortable on the court. Van Beek out of St. John, played a little with the Port City Fog in the Maritime Women's Basketball Association. Strike up the Spotify. We're going to find out what's on Kylie Roy's playlist. A little traveling music there for Kylie. McLeod inbound for Gutierrez, picked off by Bartley. Little telegraph pass there. Bartley fouled by Gutierrez. And ACAA will check back in. That's looking like the fourth team foul. For Kings on the line is Bartley. Second one, around the world and through for Brianna Bartley. Quinlan for ACAA. Quinlan around. A little too strong that time. McLeod, pretty good look. Tough start here for Kings again today. Down 17-2. They were down 15 after the first quarter yesterday, if my memory's any good. And that's often questionable. Gutierrez might have got away with a walk there, but the Tommies get the takeaway anyway. Jeffrey. Coach Chris Holland looking for a foul there on that play that didn't come. And there's a warning on the Kings coach. 14 on the shot clock. He's fired his shot across the bow of the officials. Van Beek with the takeaway for ACAA. Cross-court pass for McLeod. Defended by Bartley. There's Van Beek in the paint, back for ACAA. Gutierrez draws a foul that time. Kylie Roy will check in for STU. One for Gutierrez. Gutierrez, 5 points. A little over 2 rebounds, a little over 2 assists a game coming into today. Makes the second. And 88% free throw shooter, would expect that would be the case. Pressure now from Kings. They pick up the Tommies full court. Oh, nice hesitation dribble from Roy. Finds LeBlanc inside. LeBlanc can't get it to go, but gets the rebound. Ripped away by Van Beek. Gutierrez uses the screen, was looking for ACAA on the roll. Instead, it's the pop off the screen. Claudia Steeves gets the steal, open court, blocked by ACAA. Steeves for Bartley underneath. Van Beek's going to get the foul, using the body on Brianna Bartley. Lauren Ford back in for Lily Van Beek. And that's going to send Brianna Bartley to the line. Bartley 3.5 points, 3.5 rebounds, and a 54% free throw shooter. Can't make the second. ACAA out for Gutierrez, back for ACAA. Looking high post for Ford, nice cut for Riley McDonald. McDonald can't finish that one, but it's Gutierrez. 2 to shoot, they're gonna have to throw one up here. Ford got it off, but too late. Vedito back in. Vedito's already got a couple triples for the Tommies here today. Catch for Steves at a Holy Heart High in St. John's. Shout out to those watching on the Rock. Pleased to have you along. LeBlanc Connors tries a 3, rim. Rebound for Ford. Ford picks it up, now sends it forward for Gutierrez. Finds ACAA, the cutting Ford, nice cut. Lauren Ford knocked out off of Kylie Roy. It was a great cut by Ford. Good delivery by ACAA. Ford again, high post catch. This time she's going to try the left side, and that goes in. Lauren Ford yesterday went a lot to the right. That one to the left. Nice spin move. Connors to the bucket, scores 2. At least 4 for Connors. Tommy's knock it out is going to stay UKC ball. Good start here for STU. 44.4 seconds to go in the corner, and in is Marley Olton. Olton, first-year player out of Woodstock and the Woodstock Thunder. AA champion. ×2 is Olton. We're into high school playoffs now here in New Brunswick. Don't blink, the season's over. Connors against ACAA, works in. Oh, might have had a little walk there at the very end. And there's Paige LeBlanc draining a triple. LeBlanc coming to life here over these couple of games. It's going to be a chance for a 3-point play because that's going to count for Riley McDonald. Riley out of Timberley, Nova Scotia, and Charles P. Allen, the former Cheetah, to the line. .7 points, 2 rebounds, over an assist a game for the rookie Riley. Connors clears some way on the space on the way to the rim. Second attempt. Doesn't find the rim. 1.1 seconds left. Tommy's ball. See if the Tommies get a quick shot here. Connors catch, shoot. Got it away. Looked like it would have counted, wasn't waved off. 23-8 is our score after the first. Hold on 1 second. I'll give you a rundown of the stats from quarter number 1. Oh, that's next week's game. Let's get on this week's game. This week's game, team comparison. UKC 3 of 15, 0 of 7 beyond the arc, 2 of 3 from the line. Shooting 20% from the field overall. The Tommies 7 of 20, that's 35%. 3 of 6 beyond the arc, 6 of 10 from the line. UKC 10 turnovers already versus 4 for the Tommies. Tommies 10 points off those 10 turnovers. Tommies +2 on rebounds. Bench points close, points in the paint close. Individual stats, Riley McDonald has 3. Flora Kurtz 2, Ford 2, Gutierrez 1. And that does it for the scoring for UKC. Nobody with more than 1 foul. No assists on the board. 3 rebounds for Soiko and Flora Kurtz. For the Tommies, Vedito with 6 points on those 2 threes. Connors for Roy, Bartley, and LeBlanc with 3 each. Jeffrey and Hansen credited with 2. Can't say that I remember seeing Hansen even in the game, but obviously Michaela Hansen was. She's got 2 points on the board. Rebounds, it's Connors with 3. And Jeffrey's got 2 fouls already. Thanks to UKC fan for a shout out. No jumper may catch the ball or tap it more than twice until it has touched one of the non-jumpers on the floor. One of the non-jumpers or the floor, it says, not on the floor. Thanks, Peter, for that. We get clarity on that rule. I have to rewatch the tip of that one just to see if it did touch the floor or something first. And maybe it did bounce off the floor before Ford was able to pick it up, and that's why it was legal, maybe. LeBlanc drives and scores. Warning on the Tommies not to touch the ball after it goes in. 25-8 now. STU. McKay, tough start. Misses that shot. Tommy teams remain perfect at home here on a 9-game weekend, 2 hockey, 3 volleyball, and 4 basketball in total. They're 7-0 coming into these 2 afternoon basketball games in the Sport for All weekend. Thanks to all those who work behind the scenes with the Tommies to make a busy weekend like this possible. And thanks to those for coming out and supporting Tommy Athletics. Inside, Roy is wide open, 2 points. Some pressure from STU as they're already up 19. Whistle blown, Bartley or Roy. It's going to be Roy who picks up the foul. Coach Connors working the officials there a little bit, wondering why that was a foul. Soiko for 3. That one is good. The veteran Alex Soiko makes from beyond the arc. Connors down low, throws one over the shoulder, and it's good. Little hook shot from Charlie Connors. Ball over to the Tommies, up 18, 29-11. Connors on the drive was blocked by Ford. That's going to be a shot clock violation. McDonald in for Soiko. Ahead, McLeod. Ford. Lauren Ford more aggressive today off the hop. Shot doesn't drop. It's a good take for Lauren Ford. Sydney Flora Kirch back in. Rekha Kaeg out. Quiet scoring start for Kaeg. Speaking of likely conference all-stars. Kaeg among the league leaders in several categories, top 5-ish. I think may have dropped out of top 5 in assists, but still there. Points, rebounds, steals. Brianna Bartley with a long 2. The handoff for McDonald and McLeod. Just a tough shooting day for UKC. Getting some good looks, maybe a little rushed. Getting shots away. This Tommy's defense is smothering. That's the brand of basketball you get from STU. Long been the trademark of the Tommy teams. Tommy's, of course, hosting nationals here in March. ACAA's at UNBSJ. ACAA is the February 28th to March 2nd. Nationals here for the women, 12th to the 15th of March. Foul goes on Riley McDonald. That will send Alyssa Jeffrey to the line. Jeffrey a miss, rebound Bartley. LeBlanc tries another 3. Oh, McDonald was alone down court, but the Tommies with the double team are going to have a foul called on Stu. It's going to be on Hansen. And here comes a Kaeg in for Aiden McLeod. Tommies bringing pressure again, 32-11, 6:45 to go here in the quarter. Riley McDonald sinks the 3 from beyond the arc. For sure, the energy and compete level for UKC looks better today. Results on the scoreboard, however, don't look a lot different than they did at this point yesterday in an 18-point contest. Timeout, Tommies. Set out of the timeout, Tommy's ball, Hansen. For LeBlanc, wide open Jeffrey. Side rim out of bounds. Ahead for McDonald. McCaig gets on the board with a nice lay-in. Jeffrey on Soiko. Those two have seen a lot of one another over the years. Kylie Roy in for Claudia Steves, Katie Vedito for Brianna Bartley. Soiko, a keg. Ford. Spin to the right that time, left it short against Hansen. A keg on the rebound. Flora Kurtz, 6 to shoot. There's Ford with 3. She's going to have to get one up. Called for a walk first. Vedito, LeBlanc, Jeffrey. There's Hansen. 6 to shoot. Vedito over the shoulder. Rebound for Lauren Ford. Extra pass for Vedito. Rebound knocked out by Paige LeBlanc. Van Beek lost the handle, but Gutierrez is there to pick it up. There's a Rekka Kaig. Into the hands of Vedito, ahead for Roy. Roy scores 2 points in transition. 4:13 to go in the first half, 33-16 STU. Gutierrez saves it, Roy scores again. Timeout, UKC. Ryder McDonald leading scorer for UKC with 6 at this point. Kylie Roy 9 for the Tommies. Connors and Vedito 6 each. Bartley LeBlanc 5 each. Those numbers start to add up in a hurry for Stu. A number of players there that are already around their season average. Tommy shooting 41%. Cooled off a little bit beyond the arc, down to 27. UKC shooting 26%. 16 turnovers thus far for UKC. That's been a big issue. Tommy 16 points off those turnovers. Only 1 point off turnovers for the Blue Devils. Pretty much stopped right there looking at the stats. That's the big difference. Tommy's also plus 10 points in the paint. And plus 8 on steals. Soiko has it taken away by LeBlanc. Hansen, Vedito will set, run some offense. Roy calling out a play. LeBlanc down low. Inside cut, Vedito. Nice defense of Kaeg. There's Vedito on the board. Steve Zoltan and Connors in for STU. They stay with Vedito and LeBlanc. Soiko back for a Kaeg. High post, Van Beek. Van Beek, aggressive move. Steve's into trouble, jump ball. Holton and Gutierrez can go over to UKC. Gotta say, I don't mind some of the looks that UKC are getting. Look at those ones from Ford and Van Beek inside. Some open looks at shots as well from the outside. Feels like the game should be closer than it is on the scoreboard from where I'm sitting. But those turnovers are an absolute killer. Benito runner, no good. What you got to do is you got to look after the ball. Soiko, Gutierrez. Three-pointer, no good. Again, I don't mind that look. Soiko, I think, got pointy part of an arm. That would be an elbow to the head on the rebound there. Soiko out. Travel called. There's Quinlan for a Kaeg. 15-footer goes for a wreck of Kaeg. A Kaeg can heat it up in a hurry. Connor stops, reverse, left it short, rebound to Kaeg. Off for Gutierrez, ahead for Quinlan. A Kaeg tried to skip pass, Holton read that well. Picked off. Final minute of play, first half. Connors fouled. I think this will go on Van Beek. Does go on Van Beek. Second on Van Beek. Second on the team this quarter. Said the single-digit quarters killed UKC yesterday. Well, it was 23-8 after the first, with 45 seconds to go here in the second. It's a 12-8 corner for the Tommies. You can maybe get away with one single-digit quarter. Oh, now he's gone to 13-10 on the online stats. So something was just caught up there. (37-18) STU after the free throws. Quinlan for McLeod. LeBlanc. (37-18) STU. Just musing in my mind about potential playoff scenarios ahead for the Tommies with still 4 games to play and things to be decided. Quinlan misses a long one. I'll maybe talk a little bit about what crossed my mind there as we get into the second half. Needless to say, you don't have to squint too hard. You can see potential path for Stu to get into the final here, the ACAA, over after what was not a great start to the season. Halftime score, 37-18. I'm Bill Gibson. Thanks for tuning in to ACAA TV and Tommy's TV on YouTube. Come on back. 15 minutes, a little bit before that, I'll give you a rundown of the stats. Get yourself a hot drink, cold drink, a little snack, whatever you prefer. Spice it up if you like. Come on back for the second half. 14 minutes away. I'll run down the stats before we get underway. Hi fans, welcome back to the LB Gym and the second half here. The Tommies 37, the UKC Blue Devils 18. Team comparison, the Tommies shooting 13 of 36 for 36%, 3 of 11 beyond the arc, 8 of 14 from the line. Blue Devils 18 points, 7 of 29, 2 of 11 beyond the arc, 2 of 3 from the line. 19 turnovers for UKC versus 8 for STU. Tommies 18 points off those turnovers. Rebounds are close. Individual stats, Riley McDonald 6 points, Eureka Keg 4, Alex Soyko 3. 6 rebounds for a Keg. Van Beek 2 fouls, no one else with more than 1. For the Tommies, Roy has 9 points, Connors 8, Vedito 6. Rebounds, it is LeBlanc, Bartley, Vedito, and Connors 3 each. Roy with 2 fouls, Jeffrey 2 fouls for STU. We're underway here in the second half. I'm Bill Gibson, thanks for tuning in. Alex Soyko will knot up the Nikes. And that I think will be a foul on Soyko as Roy leaves another dent in the LB gym floor. Gonna have to sand this down after Kylie Roy graduates. A lot of Kylie Roy size dents out there. Tough as nails is Kylie. There's Kylie on the catch down low. Roy with LeBlanc, Vedito, Connors, and Jeffrey to start for the Tommies. UKC works the turnover. A Keg, Soyko, Ford, McLeod, and Flora Kirch. Same starters as we had in the game for both clubs. A Keg on the drive, can't get it to go off glass. Jeffrey down, I think that's a collision with a teammate that time. Will be out of bounds off the Tommies. And quick subs, Gutierrez and McDonald in for Kings. Ford on the offensive glass, kick outside, McDonald. Connors with a catch on the outside. Four to shoot, another takeaway by UKC on the run. McLeod for McDonald for a Keg from 15. Roy crashes the boards, comes away with a rebound. Jeffrey Vedito pass for Connors, a Keg. Uses their feet to knock that one out of play. To finish that thought from the first half, and had another little conversation about it at halftime. Someone here in the stands. This is the Tommies' likely quarterfinal opponent, and you take a look at this and you think, okay, well, this is a potential win and advance to semifinals for STU. Of course, a long way to go and much to be determined. But just saying, you don't have to look too far to see a path to the final for STU. So you get to the get through the quarterfinal against UKC, and then they, this is the potential matchup. Not to say things will look the same in that game, but then you think about, okay, you're going to get through that, and you're going to play, one of those other teams. You can look at Mount A, you look at Holland. They played Mount A close here. It was an overtime game. It was a short-staffed Mount A team. Mount A doesn't put a ton of points on the board either, like the Tommies don't. You've just beaten Holland College at Holland College in a split over there. So you think, geez, you could play one of those two teams and come up with a potential victory. UKC scores a bit more, MSVU scores a bit more. I think that would be a tougher semifinal matchup for STU. If that were to be the way it would play out. However, MSVU and STU, they tend to bring the best out of one another. So you don't have to really look that hard. You see a potential path here for the Tommies. Certainly through quarters into semis, you get the right matchup in that semifinal, and you can see yourself in the final. And if you look the way the Tommies started through the first number of games, you'd have said, boy, that'll be quite an accomplishment to get to an ACAA final. But the path is there for STU. Not that it never ever went away, but a little tougher to see then than it is right now. Late in shot clock, Vedito drains the three-pointer. Three-pointer has been key to the Tommies' second half of the season as well. And if they can get Paige LeBlanc rolling, that is another scoring weapon for the Tommies. You know, they're not going to likely score much more than 60 to 70 at probably the max in any given game. They get to 60 consistently. Going to put themselves at a chance to win just about every game they're in because they hold teams down really well. UKC here this half, you're looking for some positive. Vedito, another score. Nice finish for Vedito there, particularly in light of this being a potential first-round matchup. You would like to find something to take out of this to build upon. Give yourself a little more confidence if you do meet STU in the quarters. Long shot miss. Gutierrez rebound. It's Bartley. Takes a tumble there at the Tommies bench. Look ahead, the remaining schedule for these teams. UKC, they're at home to Holland next weekend, the 8th and 9th. And then they play at MSVU on the 15th. So teams that are ahead of them in the standings on both counts for UKC. For the Tommies, they're at Mount A next Friday and Sunday. And then they host Crandall on the 14th and 15th, Friday, Saturday, to finish out the schedule. So one more weekend of court sports here at STU after this one. We'll have volleyball that weekend of the 14th, 15th as well. I guess actually we've got volleyball next Sunday. So two more weekends to come of court sports here for the Tommies, and then regular seasons are over. Volleyball conference championship is at Holland. Basketball is at UNBSGA down the highway. Look forward to taking at least a likely trip down for see some of that. It's in my plans at least. God willing, and the creek don't rise, as they say. Vedito with numbers off to Connors. 18-footer is front rim. Rebound. McLeod. Bartley foul commits on the offensive glass. Michaela Hansen and Regan Kerr in for STU. 5:18 to go here in the third quarter. And I want to say UKC still looking for their first points of the quarter. Yes, it's a 6-0 run to start the quarter for STU. Here comes Gutierrez in for McDonald. UKC with a knockaway. ACAA steps on the sideline. UKC clears the rebound, still looking for their first points of the second half. Played over 5 minutes. There's Van Beek. Drives in off glass is the first 2 points of the second half for Lily Van Beek. Six to shoot. Foul on Lauren Ford. Little contact to the jaw of Regan Kerr. Van Beek on the takeaway on the inbound pass for Ford. Shot made, Gutierrez. It's a 20-point game. Keg with the tip. Hansen controls in the backcourt. Now front. 8 seconds on the shot clock. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Taken away by UKC. Van Beek catching traffic back for ACAA, who passes it between Soiko and Gutierrez. Hansen miss, rebound Van Beek. Ahead for Gutierrez. Foul on the Tommies. It's going to be a foul on Olton. So the Tommies, Benito, Kerr, Olton, Hansen, and Bartley. And of course, just as I say that, some subs are coming, Roy and Jeffrey. Gutierrez with Van Beek, Ford, ACAA, and Soiko. Benito loses the dribble but picks it up, hands off to Jeffrey. Knocked out of bounds by the quick hands of Alex Soiko. Ooh, little fall there inside. Gutierrez and Roy get tangled up. And that'll send Kylie Roy to the line. Roy Roy makes. Nora Quinlan checks in. Quinlan carries some pretty high shooting percentages. Of course, that one left short. Van Beek works on the offensive glass. Lily Van Beek makes the free throw. Paige LeBlanc, Charlie Connors in. Tommy's back to their starters here. 2:45 to go in the third. One more game to come. Same two schools men's action to wrap up a busy STU sports weekend. It's a miss outside for Flora Kurtz. Rebound Tommy's. Jeffrey for Connors. LeBlanc looks for a screen now. Instead, just back to Connors. Connors on the drive against Soiko. Little reverse there up over the other shoulder for Connors. Scores two, has side over Soiko in that matchup for sure. A keg short. Roy is hammered by Flora Kirch. It's about 3 hard collisions for Roy in this half. And Roy will go to the line to shoot a couple more. Roy shakes that off, jogs to the free throw line. .154 to go in the third. The Tommies up by 21. Ryla McDonald in for Alex Soiko. Flora Kurtz on the putback, fouled. Foul goes on Connors. Roy fouled on the way to the rim. by Lily Van Beek. .3:19 now, our 4 o'clock start time for the men's game. Maybe slightly in jeopardy with another quarter to play, and still a minute 21 to go in this one. Be just a little bit later than that. So Holland beat Mount A today by 19. So they split that weekend series. MSVU beat Crandall to sweep Crandall this weekend. SJ Idle. The Tommies on their way to a sweep here over UKC. That'd move Holland to 12-4. Mount Allison to 10-4. MSVU to 12-3. So Holland will leapfrog Mount A in the standings. Into the bonus now as the foul goes on. LeBlanc was going to send Gutierrez to the line. Gutierrez, 7 points, leads UKC. Quiet day for Areka Kagan, only 4. For the Tommies, it's Kylie Roy, 14, Vidito 12, Connors 10. That accounts for 36 of the 51 Stu points between those three. Picked off McDonald for Gutierrez. Dropped for Flora Kirsch. Rebound by LeBlanc. Score for Connors. Stu, since losing on January 18th at Holland, has ripped off 4 wins in a row on their way to 5. Beat Holland the next day. They lost by 5 on the Saturday. On the Sunday, won by 16, won twice at UNBSJ, won here yesterday, and on the way, even to scoring a few more than 60 this time. With a 53-30 lead with 4 seconds to go in the third quarter. Connors loses to the handle. We're going to end the quarter at 53-30. So that quarter is 16-12 in favor of the Stu Tommies. They've won all 3 quarters thus far. The Tommies, 17 of 48, 35% for 14 beyond the arc 5. 15 of 24 beyond on the line for 62%. UKC, 9 of 45, that's 20%, 3 of 18. 17%, 9 of 11, 82% from the free throw line, but not getting there a lot. Have turned the ball over 27 times already. 20 points off turnovers for Stu. Rebounds are pretty close. Stu got a couple more. Steals 15-9 for Stu. Bench points, UKC leads that 18-7. Points in the paint, Tommy's 24-10. Individual stats, Gutierrez leads 8 points. Riley McDonald has 6, Van Beek 4, ACAA 4. ACAA 8 rebounds. Foul trouble, Ford and Gutierrez with Van Beek each with 3. For the Tommies, I just mentioned Roy 12, Benito and Connors 12 each. Rebounds, it is LeBlanc with 6, Roy with 5, and 2 fouls for Roy, Bartley, and Jeffrey. No real foul trouble to speak of. The Lewis for the 3-quarter time reset. We're on to the next quarter of play. McCaig off the window, no good. Rebound back up floor of Kurtz. That doesn't drop. LeBlanc finally collects that one, and Aiden McLeod will get the foul on the reach in. Ford scores in the post. Kylie Roy against Gutierrez. Off for Alyssa Jeffrey. Jeffrey was steal hunting there, but Ford makes the catch. Dribbles to the front court, kick out. On the drive, McLeod. Lauren Ford can't rip the rebound away. Steves and Riley McDonald check in for the Tommies and Blue Devils respectively. Bartley also in for Stu. Connors hard collision with the end wall. Gets back up, looks okay. Watching Connors, I think that was Bartley that made the 3. Connors hustles back but picks up a foul for the effort against Aiden McLeod. Steves dribbles into trouble. Riley McDonald picks up a foul. Tough call there, I think, on McDonald. Looked like Steves initiated most of that. 5-second count on Steves. Timeout on the floor, 7:45 to go here in the fourth. It's timeout, Kings. Another look at the go-forward schedule for these two clubs. Next Saturday and Sunday, Kings host Holland College. Holland College, off a win over Mount A today, goes to 12-4. Mount A drops to 10-4. And then UKC will finish up at the Mount on the 15th of February. The Mount just moved to 12-3 with a win over Crandall today. And for the Tommies, they go at Mount A. Who are now 10-4 on the Friday the 7th and Sunday the 9th. Before hosting Crandall, who's 1-15 now, on the 14th and 15th. Crandall will be idle next weekend. They've already got 16 games in. Holland plays next weekend and is idle the last weekend. Down low for Ford, fouled by Hanson or Olton. Take your pick. It's going to be Olton. 7:39 to go. So some fun times ahead here in the ACAA. We're into the final quarter of the season after today. Final 4 games remaining for the Tommies. Well, even less than a quarter. We're already into the final quarter in an 18-game season. McDonald picks up another foul. I think that'll be 4 on Riley McDonald. No, only 3. Ford with the release and score, 20-point game, 56-36. Pressure from Kings here. 6:30 to go in the fourth. Hanson, that one rattled out. Connors waits to check in at the next stoppage. Benito's tries for the takeaway. It's going to be out off of Kings and over to the Tommies. Jeffrey Connors from the elbow. Rebound for Flora Kirch, off to Ford, back to Flora Kirch. Pass, oh, didn't think it had enough mustard on it to get through to a keg, but she picked it up. There's a good outlet pass for Roy. For the cutting Connors. That's going to be the N1 for Charlie Connors. Great job by Charlie. Slam on the brakes there and get the shot up. Five new UKC Blue Devils check in. Quinlan, Van Beek, Nora Lawrence, Gutierrez, as well as Renee Tebow. Ball's over to STU. And here's Alyssa Jeffrey. Knocked away by Gutierrez into the backcourt. Jeffrey to the front court, dribbles it off the foot. Going to the floor is Nora Quinlan. It's going to be out off of STU. Bartley rips away the rebound to the open court for Connors. Connors back outside. Nice shot released by Alyssa Jeffrey. Good ball movement, Stu. Kylie Roy knocks down the second one, checking in Claudia Steves. 4:09 to go here. Connors a triple. Steves a takeaway. Score inside is Olton, and Olton will go to the line. It's going to be a foul on Nora Lawrence. Geisbrecht and Kerr in for the Tommies as LeBlanc and Connors come out. That'll be their last action for the day, I would almost assume. Rebound Steves on the putback. Going to be a travel on Kerr. Thought you actually had to have the ball in your hand to travel, but maybe not. Thought that one was just a loose ball that Kerr was trying to track down after it bounced off her hands. Have to see that one again. I know it looked funny, for sure. So another foul on Nora Lawrence. Going to send Olton to the line again. Olton with a make. It looks like Michaela Hansen will check in for Stu, probably for Brianna Bartley. Violation, we're going to shoot one more time. It is Hansen for Bartley. Picked up by Kerr. Kerr down into the UKC bench jump ball. Tommy's bunched up there a little bit. I think that was part of the issue. Spacing got a bit off. Steves with the knock away. Back for Olton, now up top for Kerr. Kerr has Hansen in the corner. Giesbrecht. 5 to shoot. Kerr is going to make something happen. Blocked, though. That was Aiden McLeod on the block. Lily Van Beek will pick up a foul on the Tommies on the way to the rim. Hey, here comes KQ, our first Kathleen Quinlan sighting, coming off an injury. Was actually sustained at UKC in the first half of the season, all the way back in November. This will be Kathleen's first action. Coach Connor said she was cleared to return to action. Wasn't sure if Kathleen would get in a game this weekend, just based on how the games went. But it's good to see KQ back out there. Steve's down. Jump ball. This possession will be Tommy's with 1:18 to play. Kerr on the release. That one looked great. Rimmed out, though, on Kerr. Ball goes on Giesbrecht. We'll send Nora Lawrence to the line at Lockview High and Bedford, Nova Scotia. To finish my thought there on Kathleen Quinlan, she will be as much of an influence on the Tommies with her attitude and her hard work than she will be with any point she ever puts on the board for Stu. Just a pleasure to talk to anytime I get a chance to interact with her. Giesbrecht on the drive for Gutierrez, under a minute to go here. Tommy's well in control of this one, and they've broken the 70-point barrier, something they haven't done too many times this year. Jump ball, this one should favor UKC. .6 on the game clock. That means the shot clock is off. Van Beek off for Gutierrez. The Tommies are going to win this one. That's going to send STU on a 5-game win streak. Going to move them to 8-6. So they leapfrog UKC this weekend. UKC goes to 7-8. 4-4 away from home for UKC. 3-4 at home for STU. With 2 home games remaining, that's going to be correct. Next up for UKC, as mentioned, next weekend they host Holland. Holland coming off a win over Mount A today. And speaking of Mount A, the Tommies will go at Mount A next Friday and Sunday in Sackville. Get there if you're a Tommies fan. If you can't get there, ACAA TV will have all the coverage from Sackville. Tommies back on home court the 14th and 15th, Friday, Saturday, versus the Crandall Chargers. Come on back in 20 minutes or so. We'll have men's action. Same 2 schools, the Tommies. 9-0 across 3 different sports here in the Sport is for All weekend at St. Thomas. Men's basketball looks to make it a perfect 9-0 after the 8-0 start by all the other teams. Come on back. For everyone here at St. Thomas, he always remains Gallus in the producer's chair. I'm Bill Gibson. Thanks for tuning into this one. See you in 20 minutes.